Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to continue from where we stopped last time. Last time we were building an AI-powered document summarizer for students and visual learners. So what we actually started with, we started with the backend flow, like you can see here on my screen. We started with the backend, and we were able to actually configure the database, create the users and some PDF table, and we were also able to actually create the auth flow in our previous video. So in today's video, we'll actually continue from where we stopped, which is creating the middleware and the actual summarizing the PDF. That is summarizing the PDF, which is the main focus of our project. That is what we'll be focusing on in today's video. So if you don't want to miss out, if you want to follow up with this very video, I do encourage you to go back and watch our previous video so that you don't miss out on any logic or concept that we have been talking about. With that being said, let's get dived into the video. Guys, as you can see, I'm in my laptop screen right now. So if you are following up with our previous video, you can just continue from this side that I'm starting from right now. First of all, I will just come and cd into server from my terminal. Also, yeah. Now from this your server root file over here, which is the root directory, just click on it and click on this folder, this add new folder. Click on it and add middleware. Yes. Then from here you create an auth middleware. Click on create a new file, write auth middleware.js. Yes. Then from here we import our JWT from JSON web token. From here we import our dot. Actually, I'll just do this one like this dot env/config. Yeah, I'll just do it that way, and we are good. Now let's continue. So you say const authenticate token. We create an arrow function here. Then we'll create a variable called token using let so that we can actually change the value of the variable as we just finished declaring it. So we'll create another header using a conditional statement over here. Token path is equal to auth.split. have the next statement in a try catch block. So to the case you get an error, you can actually catch the error from this very side. So basically what we have done here is this. First of all, we're trying to get the authentication token from our browser. If you're in our previous video, you will know that when we signed into our account, we created a token that should allow the user to log back into the account whenever they leave, and the token actually lives for a day. So that is what we did there. So the same thing is here. We're actually trying to check if the token is two. We are checking if the browser, if you have, and if the token is two, you should look for a token that has this prefix bearer. Yeah, if you get it, you assign this token that has this prefix bearer to this very token here, which we just declared as a variable in this side. So we check if there is no token, it should tell the user authentication token is required. Hence, the user is not signed in per se. So if everything is fine, we come over to this try and catch block that you can see right here. We first of all verify the token if it's actually correct. If it's correct, we assign this user to the request user so that it won't ask this very person visiting to the website again to actually sign in because they have signed in before. So now with that we are done with our middleware. The next thing is to actually create our controller for our PDF summarizing, for our PDF summarizer. If you ask me, I will just say the next thing is actually to create the engine of our main project, which is this. So I'll come over here and say PDF controller.js. So we actually installed quite a few packages. So in the case you actually see me importing some stuff rather, they are here. Yeah, we have them here. So PDF parser. Let me check. Do I have that here? Okay. So yeah, I just finished checking if our packages are complete. Yes, they are. So from here, we first of all import fs from fs. We actually don't need to install this as is there by default. Yeah, and again we still import this our .env/config. Yeah, and we import something from at Google. Yeah, from here we import Google Gen AI. Then we import Mammoth. Import Mammoth from mammoth, mammoth from mammoth. Okay, now we import our PDF model, obviously, and we import actually path from path. Yeah, we actually need this. We need this. Then from here, first of all, we need to actually get our Google generative AI key. So new gen. Yeah, so what we're doing, we're just creating an instance of this Google class. So our API key, I will just say process .env dot gemini underscore API underscore key. Don't worry, we haven't gotten our API key yet. I will actually show us how to get our API key. For now, just do what you see me doing on my screen. Once we are done with everything, I will show you how to get your Google Gemini API key. So let's start with our main function, which is the core idea of our app, and that is what? The summarize document. So const summarize document is equal to an Sequelize function. Grab the request and not this type of request and the response. Wrap everything in a try catch block. So we'll be getting the file from the user. So you see const file is equal to request dot file. And also we also need to know the person doing this thing. So we need to get the user ID equal to request dot user dot ID. Then first of all, trying to know if the person is sending an actual file. So we say if not file, we should return out of the function. .json. No file uploaded. String return. Then if there's an actual file, we do this. It's fs.read file sync. File sync. File.path. That is to get the path of the file from your device. Then here, let. Actually, I'm not going to extract the tests. Rather, I will just feed everything into our model so that recently you can actually upload a document directly to your model and the model will actually take care of the heavy lifting for you. So that is what I'm just going to do. I will not what's it called, extract the text from the document. Rather, I will just feed it directly to the model. So I will just continue. I will say constant file extension is equal to the file dot original name You know, let me not do this. Because if I do this, I actually need to extract the text from the document, which is what I don't want to do. So I will just continue to this, convert the document to the 64 string file to summarize, right? I do hope I spelled this correctly. Use this backtick. Just write it, you see me, right? Data application slash your dollar symbol, curly braces, file to summarize, 64, comma, another dollar symbol, curly braces, and you add base 64 over here. Great. Now the next thing is our prompts. So I actually have a prompt in our document file. That is the document where we actually I actually have a prompt here. This is the prompt. What I will just do, I will just kind of like copy everything over here and go back to our VS Code. Yeah, that's what I will do. And the prompt, a link to the prompt will be provided for us in the description box, or it should be the first comment to say in the comment section. Prompt is equal to, use the back tick here, press enter. Yes. Yeah, using the back tick, this is the prompt that we'll be using. What it just basically is this. He said is the prompt is, this is more of prompt engineering. It's just telling the AI this is what we want from you. Said you are an expert at summarizing documents for visual learners. Your task right now is read the following documents and produce first of all a concise title for the document, a comprehensive summary, very friendly for visual learners, mind map, an array of mind map nodes, and the flowchart data, which is an array of flowchart steps. Then the map we also give it a step-by-step instruction for it on what it should return. Otherwise, it will give you a concept, a sub-concept, and more sub-concepts, which is what we don't want. Otherwise, displaying that kind of information to the user will be complicated. The same thing goes for the flowchart over here. So we define a set of rules for it. After everything, we came here to a conclusion. The output requirement should be your entire output must be a single valid JSON object, because we need a JSON object and it should not include any text outside the JSON because AI are actually capable of returning stupid stuff most times. So if flowchart data is not applicable, use an empty array because it doesn't necessarily mean that all the data that you actually, all the documents you summarize have steps. And the flowchart is just kind of a step-by-step instruction for us if you actually watch our previous video. So, so I will just continue and define our model over here. Constant response is equal to await gen AI dot models dot generate content. Yeah. So we'll be using Gemini 2.5 Flash. Yeah, Gemini dash 2.5 dash Flash. It's quite accurate actually. Then we define the contents. This should be a small letter. The data is a big 64 string. So come down, then we come down to get our response. Constant AI response is equal to response dot test. Then from this side, what I want to do is right now I try to use regular expression to actually clean the response coming from the AI. Otherwise, we'll get some kind of nonsense, and most times it actually does return its response as with markdown codes. Most times it actually does return its response with markdown code. So what I will do here, I will use regular expression to clean its response. Just copy what you see me right on my screen. Use it backtick 1, 2, 3. Then write this using the square bracket. Write slash x and another slash capital S. What the hell? Another slash capital S. Asterisk. Then we add another backtick to it. Slash ag and the comma. Actually, this shouldn't be here. Slash AG and the comma. Okay, comma with TC match. Match dot replace. We do the same thing over here. Forward slash 123 forward slash 123. This time around we do JSON here, pipe. Can't seem to find this thing on my keyboard right now. Where is it? Yeah, that's on it. Slash new. Then we add 123 and the slash and the G and the comma and an empty string like this. Then we add a dot string at the end. Let's Control C. That was wide. But then with this very little expression over here, we can actually clean our text our response rather coming from the AI. So from here we can say const past data. Our person is equal to JSON dot pass clean response. Yep. From here we actually get the title, so we can actually return it to the user, to the front end rather, or the user. Say pass data dot title. Otherwise, type symbol. Otherwise, we use the file dot original name. Then we do the same thing for the summary. I actually say test summary is equal to the same thing, pass data the summary, then constant, button dot that error, mind data. Pass, not a pass through, but rather a passed data dot mind mark data. Otherwise, you should return an empty array. Then we have the flowchart also. Flow chart data is equal to, again, I pass data dot flowchart underscore data. Yeah. Now we've gotten everything that we need. So I will actually going to assign all these things to a single variable, which is called save document, that you can actually save to our database. While we save it to our database, rather, I will assign it to a single variable, which is like this, equal to await our PDF model dot create, and yeah, we start because the user ID is user id title is title, then summarize the document is test summary. Then we have mind map data is mind map data. Our flowchart data is flow. Mind map data flow. Yeah, flowchart data is flowchart data. Control S to save and let Pizza do the job. Now from here, we've saved everything to our backend, to our database. So we need to return the response to our front end, which is what I'm just gonna do right here with a message saying documents summarized and saved successfully. They'll pass the data, save document, and that is all. So from here, we actually need to catch the pass errors should the case anything fail. If the passing fails, from here pass, I'll call this PARSE pass error. In case while we were trying to parse the document over here, this very side, in case there's an error, we should catch the error from this very side and return it to I return the response to the front end, which is a response 500.json passing the error. Now come over to the root one and return this to the user. Let's do status 500. This is when everything fails right now. JSON error failed to summarize PDF. So what this very error here does is, if parsing fails from the response we got from our AI, we actually just need to send the raw. As I was saying, what this does is, if response we fail to pass the response that we got from our AI, we actually need to send the raw response. But ever since I've been using that same product, it hasn't gotten a raw response. Everything has actually been working fine. Everything is working fine. So yeah. Now the next thing is to actually get our summarize document with this very function that you can see right here. Our summarize, we can actually summarize our document successfully. This very function you see right here. So the next thing is to write a function to get our summarized document. Write export constant get summarized document. First of all, we need to get the user ID from the browser or the request, you see, which is request.user.id. Then we need to get the document also for that very user. Make sense? Yeah. Then we've done everything. So what you're doing here basically is we're getting the whole document summarized by a user. That is what we're doing here. So once the user just logs in back to the account, they just get all the documents that they have been summarizing. So that they have summarized so far rather. That's JSON. Yeah, yeah. So next up is to actually get a summarized document by ID. This time around is getting a single document. That is what we mean by get summarized document by ID. By ID. Yeah, we leave it that way. This on my face, not sure for this thing. I'm just like I'm at all. So try catch left everything again, try catch block. Then try to get the document ID from the request parameter. Then once we get the document ID, the next thing is to actually look for the document, which is what I'm going to do right now. Await PDF model dot find by primary key document ID. So we do a little bit of if statement. If the document is not there, we return this very statement. Not found. Document not found statement. Otherwise, we return the document. Then if there should be any error, you should get the error from this very side as use what? You should get used to this by now. You should get used to this. Now we are done with this very single function. The next thing is to actually delete a document from our list of documents that we have summarized. So from here, I will just call this delete summarized documents by ID. Delete summarized. Then we'll wrap everything in try catch block also. Constant. We try to get the document ID as we did earlier. Equal to again from the request parameters. And try to look for the document in our list of documents in our database. And again, we check if the document is actually there. If the document is not there, we return a not found statement, which arrests response of status 44.json error document not found. But if the document is there now, if the document is there, you actually want to delete the document. So we await document.destroy. This is how we do it. And we return the rest. A message saying document has been deleted successfully. If there should be an error, as usual, we need to cache the error from this very site. Response status, first of all, 500, that is, etc. Now we are done with everything in our PDF controller. Everything that has to do with the summarizing of our documents, getting of our documents, or a single document which is this, getting our documents which is this, and or deleting a document from our list of documents which is also this. The next thing that we actually need to do is to, first of all, let's define the route. After defining the route, we have an important thing to handle. Yes, let's define the route. So you come over to this right folder over here. From the top, click on add file and name it pdf route.js. And as usual, we import the necessary things. Import express from express. Yeah. Then we import the following functions from our PDF controller. First of all, I will just need to do this. Then our controller
controller, which is dot slash controller controller slash pdf controller.js. Now, I'm just going to press space bar and keep getting our functions. Oops, these are not part of the deal. Yeah, yeah. Now we've gotten our four functions. Then we import our auth middleware. Yeah, then importing it. Actually, we can't define our route without doing this very first thing. And this is actually really important. Because remember, if you come over to this our package.json, there's a library called motor. This very library that we installed. What it helps us does is it helps us to handle the upload of a file, be it a document, picture, video, whatsoever. It helps us to handle it. So we first of all need to configure it so that we can actually use it. So come over to this or config folder right here, click on add file and write motor.js. So once you have this, we import it, import motor, and define our storage. Constant storage is equal to motor dot disk storage. I'll do this. So we just export constant upload is equal to motor, and we pass in the storage. Yeah. So with this very thing that we've done right now, we can actually come back to our PDF route and start defining our routes. So from here, let me define our routes. Yeah. So let me first of all import it before actually define our route. Now I've imported it. Next thing is to define our route. Before we do that, let's come down here and do this. PDF routes is equal to express dot router. Exactly. Passing our authentication middleware and passing our delete summary by ID. Then let's see. Okay, so we actually need to summarize our documents. So see PDF route dot post is actually a post request slash summarize, passing our authentication token, pass our upload middleware also, but single, and pass in this key PDF before our trap function. Then we need a get request to get all our summarized documents. before I do that, let's try to get a summarized document by ID. Do we have that function? Here's our delete document. Yes, we do. So let's get our summarized document by ID from here. So I'll just define the routes. And the order is to get all the summarized documents. And with this, we are done. So what you just need to do is to export our PDF route by default, so we can actually connect it from the main server. Then come over to your main server.js file, which is in your root directory, to define your PDF route. First of all, you import it from this side. I come down here and do something app.use. I just like /API/PDF. Then I pass in a PDF route over here. And with this, we are done defining our engine and the backend of our projects. But then we need to test it. Let's test our project.